All right, This is a special edition of TWTTV with Chino Dollars. He's here to speak on the Bentley situation and clear up some controversy, clear up the assumptions and what people are out there thinking about what happened when they reopened. I guess it was a reopen.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. People thought they got hoodwinked. So he's here to clear some of that up. So let's start out really basically trying to let the city know why Bentleys got closed and why was it even in why was it even being eyeballed for being a situation where they wanted to shut it down?
I mean, people have to understand when it comes to nightclubs, bars, and situations, when you have a liquor license, you go through a renewal process. And in that process, you kind of have to prove that you are, I guess, worthy of continuing to operate. Well, like any other club, Bentleys has had its share of fights or, situations. Nobody's ever been, killed or murdered, and, thank God for that. But for one reason or another, the powers that be feel like Bentleys it has been an establishment that probably shouldn't continue to operate. Well, when we had our farewell party, we had that party with the intent of shutting down and just moving on to the next situation and really, saluting and thanking everybody for coming out and supporting all these years. So we had the party. From the time that we had the party till the time that the club reopened under a different name, there were some things that happened legally, and that I can't go into detail with, but there was also some support that popped up that didn't exist prior to us making that decision that would be the last night that we was open. So with that support coming, with some legal things happening, a decision was made by the ownership that, look, we've been here a very long time. We got a lot of people who are upset about us shutting down business. We got a lot of people who've been coming here for years because before it was Bentleys, it was Clyde Nanny's. And you got people who were there during that Clyde Nanny's time. They came up to the Bentleys, that under the Bentleys name. And you had employees who had been there for years too. You don't never really want to lose or leave your job. So, it was just a situation where we were about to shut down because the powers that be felt like it was an establishment that shouldn't be open anymore, and there was a possibility that we would just lose the club as a whole. So we just made the necessary decisions to be better off in the long run.
Now, explain for those who don't know, what can cause your club to shut down?
Every time y'all want to get wild and tear the club up and throw chairs, I think people don't really realize, when you bring your personal situations into the club, we opened up a nightclub for the purpose of entertainment. So we want you to forget about, the drama that's existing in your life, the issues that you got. We want you to come to the club, have a couple drinks, shoot some pool, eat, enjoy yourself. When you bring your personal issues into the club and then you get into fights and police is outside, that counts against us as police runs. And this is all clubs, bars, white, black, whatever the case may be.
How many police runs does it take for them to start looking at your club as when? Okay, hold on, let me rephrase that. How many police runs will it take to get your club shut down? And can they do that before your renewal process is up?
It's hard to say how many, because you can have 2 runs, but them 2 runs be 2 cases where people got shot. You know what I mean? It's a combination of the amount of police runs, the severity of the police runs, and it's also, what needs to be factored in is the community and how the community feels about you being there. And, really once that community, the community organizations or the CDCs, once those other organizations in the area and other businesses in the area start to feel like you're a nuisance, then that process is already rolling. And all they doing at that point is just collecting and collecting and collecting until they feel like dropping on you. As far as them shutting you down prior to your renewal date, it can happen. But again, it's about the severity of the police runs and the things that's going on.
So 10 calls of fighting doesn't equal up, is not equivalent to 2 people getting killed on 2 different weekends. So will it be? Because that's happening.
It's funny how that play out, man. Because you can have an establishment where 2 people get shot, 2 people get killed, and they find a way to stay open. And you have an establishment where all of their police runs have been honestly just fights. And, it seems like the city is going for the head.
Do you feel like certain city officials, whoever they might be, are kind of fatigued with the violence in urban clubs, and they're looking for reasons to eliminate those, to eliminate the violence in the clubs? Because even Broad Ripple has its issues as well.
Yeah.
You might go out there dressed properly, but they might not let you in. But there's been killings out there. People got ran over by cars. Mm-hmm. It's been in a situation. So why? How come Broad Ripple doesn't? I guess it's a two-part question. How come Broad Ripple doesn't get in the same eyesore as the urban clubs? And do you feel like the urban clubs are just being attacked based on the history of the violence, throughout the years?
I mean, okay, with Broad Ripple, first off, it's biased, period, when it comes to Broad Ripple, because even when you look at the media and how Broad Ripple was painted with its problems, they will say Broad Ripple has a problem, but they won't say a specific club. When it comes to the urban clubs, and when they catch media, even if it doesn't happen at that club, if it happens in the vicinity, then it's going to be attached to that club. You know what I mean? In some cases, I understand, because you are basically, as a journalist, saying that this incident happened and these individuals were leaving that club. But the same thing goes down in Broad Ripple, and you will never hear this happened in Broad Ripple and these people were leaving this establishment or leaving that establishment. So I think the media is biased right there in the fact that they won't pinpoint an individual establishment. They'll just say Broad Ripple as a whole. Now, Broad Ripple was set up a lot different than your urban club situations, but again, it doesn't mean that you can't pinpoint a club like you do when you're dealing with an urban establishment. When it comes to city officials, a lot of that is just them reacting to whoever is in charge of, like, the neighborhood association. The problem is you can have a president of a neighborhood association who takes it upon himself to say that this club is a nuisance. Not the neighborhood. The neighborhood isn't thinking about it. Like 9 times out of 10, when you have a petition going around to shut a club down, it's one person that started that petition. It's not a group of people. You know what I mean? So you could pick any club in the city and you could do, let's just say, like a 2-3 mile radius around it. A lot of them people don't care about that club. A lot of them people ain't thinking about that club. And 9 times out of 10, the people who complain about the club, they don't go to the club. So, it's just like, you have a right to want a certain type of environment where you live at or where you do business at. You do. But at the same time, there's a lot of bias that exists, and there most definitely is a lot of politics that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to deciding who gets hit what way, who gets renewed, and who has to go through certain hoops and certain hurdles to keep their business open.
Now, you wanted to give a message out to the city about the Bentley situation. What is it that you wanted to let the city know? I
mean, at the end of the day, nobody bamboozled anybody. Nobody was trying to run game. It wasn't a situation where the establishment knew that they were going to shut down and then open right back under another name. That was a conscious decision that was based on, first and foremost, by the public. Like, the amount of support that came in after, the decision to close was made. Like, so many people were like, nah, don't close down. You know what I mean? Let's fight. We'll show up. You know what I mean? At the hearings, at the renewal, we'll support you. Like right now, Bentleys has a petition that's going around the neighborhood and different business establishments where we're looking for that support. You know what I mean? Like, the fact of the matter is this: urban communities need neighborhood bars. They need neighborhood nightclubs. Like, those social places are there for a reason. They've been around for years. Like, social clubs have always existed in the black community, and it's a time. Now is the time that we start supporting our black-owned establishments. Even furthermore, now is the time that we start taking responsibility when we go out at night and we act a certain way. Because it's one thing for people to assume that you are an eyesore, that you are a problem, that you're the reason why crime is increasing. It's another thing when we go into a club and act a certain way and give them that ammunition to shoot. You know what I mean? You can have all those sayings and rumors and all that, but if we don't give you anything to make that real, to make that solid, if we don't give you that ignorant activity, then those go away.
So the petition that's going around, is it online as well? Can somebody go online?
It's not online, but you can come up to Bentleys. You only have to come in if you need. I'll bring it out to you. We will have an online petition starting next week. I'll get that information out via Twitter, Facebook, and things of that nature. But man, it's really about us starting to look out for us, and that's really all it's about. Bentleys has been there forever. It was Clyde and Andy's prior to being Bentleys, and it's like, why would you not want your neighborhood bar to stay there if you go there every week? Why would you not want your neighborhood bar there if this is a place where you say you love the chicken so much? Then support your bar.
Why do people feel like with the relationship that you have with the people that come there, B Swift, the relationship he has with the people that come there, the workers, the security, the owner? Why would anybody even suspect or think that somebody,
Oh man, that's because people have done it in other clubs. Like, other clubs have done it. You know what I mean? I mean, we all know about the establishments that's like, we shutting down, and then they open up and we got new ownership, or we doing this, or we, you know what I mean? Like, it's because of the way that this entertainment industry has become. It's hard for people just to trust. And that honestly just comes from bad business, bad promoters, bad club owners. And I think a lot of it comes from people just not taking the time out to make sure that the message is out there that, look, ain't nobody trying to play you. That doesn't make sense. It's not, like, we're all in this to have fun, to make some money, enjoy ourselves. So bamboozling people, that's not what we're about. But there are people out there to do that. So, if it looks like something that just happened 3-4 months ago, then that's what people gonna say.
So it closed down. It's officially closed now. Correct.
It's officially open.
Oh, it's open. It's open.
Bentleys is open.
Okay.
But we're still going through the process of having to prove that it needs to stay open.
So if it's open, so when's the next night people can go there and?
They can go there tonight.
They can go there tonight.
They can go there tonight. It's just there's another hearing coming up. I'm not asking anybody to come out if you don't want to come out. Like, that's not what it's about. I just want people to understand that Bentleys is an establishment that takes pride in providing entertainment and food for the people who've been coming there and come there week after week after week. And the last thing that anybody in that building would want to do was trick people or bamboozle people or have people thinking that it's closing just to make money. Like, anybody who goes to Bentleys knows it's already been generating revenue. Right. So no gimmick is needed. You know what I mean? We don't do no wild, crazy stuff in there to get people through the door. You know what I mean? It's just a situation where, the things that happen in nightclubs can put you in a light that's not positive for everybody that looks at you. So, sometimes you got to buckle down and you got to fight to keep your establishment where you wanted at, and that's where we are right now. I mean, we fighting to keep Bentleys there, we fighting to keep a neighborhood bar open, and we fighting to keep providing that entertainment for people who like what we got going on.
When is the next hearing?
I don't know the exact date, but it's in October.
Okay. Because if people are saying that they're going to come out and support and they're going to be at the hearing, well, let's see how many of them actually show up.
You know what? That'll be interesting because, as black people, we have a hard time supporting each other. And, again, like I said, it was the public who, when we said we were shutting down and we had that last night, was just like, don't do it. You know what I mean? I got a Facebook inbox full of people saying, like, what we need to do to open it back up, what we need to do to keep it open. You know what I mean? Like, that's why Bentleys is open. Because the support that we didn't know was there just came out. And it's like, when you see that support and you really don't want to shut down, like, nobody wanted to shut down. You know what I mean? So when you start seeing, like,
it kind of happened out of nowhere. I just happened to see it on Twitter. I'm like, it's shutting down.
It was one of them situations, man, where you have to understand you don't necessarily air your business out and be like, we fighting. You know what I mean? Because you don't want people to focus on that. You want people to focus on having a good time when they come into your establishment, and that's something that you try to handle internally. You know what I mean? Because if you get it fixed and handle it, nobody ever has to worry about it. You ain't got to worry about that.
Do you know when the official court hearing is? And if not, are you going to put that date on Twitter and Facebook, let people know so they can come out and support like they said they're going to?
Yeah, it's in October. I can't remember what the official date is, but I most definitely put that out. Facebook, Twitter, text messages. If you want to come out and support, great. If you can't make it, we still appreciate the support. We got a petition going around again. We'll have an online petition available next week. Right now, we just got it in the club and some local barbershops and different businesses in the that Far East side area. At the end of the day, we just have to take care of our community. I mean, we gotta start supporting each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's bigger than black owned. Like, people gotta start looking out for people, man. Because right now, it's like everybody's out for self. And if we continue to be selfish the way we've been in these last couple of years, we're gonna find ourselves in situations whereas as black people, we ain't got nowhere to go. You know what I mean? And so instead of being forced into a box and having to dress a certain way or act a certain way, let us take care of our establishments. Let's take care of our bars. Let's take care of them places that, one, want us to be there, and two, they opening our doors for us to come in and have a good time. Let's act the way we know is appropriate.
All right, follow Chino Dollars at I am Chino Dollars on Twitter, TWTTV.net.